Combustion.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Just running the game with my team making plays. Talking 80, my G's, wanting jewels in this place. Surrounded by dogs, keep the quarterback safe. I'm the one with the plans, they gon' do what I say. The game is not over, we don't celebrate in the end zone. We don't got no time in the wait. Ain't trying run down, we don't premeditate. We just go and get to it, we got them on skates. If the game go into overtime, kicking the overdrive, we gon' be first at the finish line. Play looking full, but I finish mine. Can I get second? We gon' line up like it's dinner time. We put in work till we get us a ring. Super Bowl season, we running the scene. Ain't trying to home of the realest that breathe. Keep your face down when you talk to the king.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to another episode of the H-Town Rundown. This is your boy AD, and I got my co-host in the building. We got Clayton. We got Jules in the building. What up, fellas? How y'all doing on this wonderful Saturday evening, Saturday night?
What's going on, Triple?
Bless, man. Go Cougs. Go Cougs.
Yeah.
Do it for Samson. Trying to get,
You better do something for him. Need to do something for him because you didn't do it for him last year.
Hey, that's old news.
So here we are in the heat of March Madness, and the Houston Texans have brought a little heat of their own March Madness this past few weeks with a flurry of signings and re-signings and multitude of moves. But I want to hear y'all thoughts of, I want to give first and foremost, let's give an overall grade of the Texans offseason so far and what y'all think the Texans have done. Do you think it has upgraded the team to a point? And what do you guys think the Texans still have room to grow when it comes to this offseason? And I'll start with you, Clayton.
All right. So starting off with the grade, I'm going to go with a B plus. I'm gonna go with a B plus. I don't want to be too harsh. I think they made a number of more than solid moves. It was punctuated by Wyatt Teller, right? We were unsure whether or not they would get him or they out on him, right? Like signing Evan Brown, it's kind of wishy-washy, shaky a bit. You got your Reed Blankenship's. You got, let me see, re-signing at Ingram at the market deal that you got him at. That was a good one. Braden Smith, weakening the Colts and bringing him in for your O-line. So I think all things considered, Caserio stayed true to form. He got his deals every single time. He did not overpay for much of anybody, which is his MO. That's why I just think, he did a lot of stuff. He re-signed a lot of guys, beating potatoes moves, revamped the O-line, like you said. I still don't think we're done yet. So there's that. But as far as could you start 2026 with this O-line and this team right now and be improved? Absolutely. So for that, I give it a B plus. Also, shout out Demo, no longer Sonic and Knuckles. Now he's going to be Woody and Buzz. So there you go. Yep. That's what I got. B plus.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and give him an A minus.
Okay.
I think he took care of what he needed to take care of. As AD always says, you elevate the room with talent. And I believe that every one of his signings elevated the room of talent on line. And that's what we're gonna talk about first and foremost. Is the most important situation is he recreated the O-line, even its depth from the studs up. And he got guys and players on 2-year deal, 3-year deals, and that's giving him more flexibility when it comes to drafting in this draft, next draft. And you got guys who actually can play and are still young enough to play and capable of playing for the next 2 years. And that's all you want right now. It's this 2-year gap of what you have, and that's what he did. Wyatt Taylor's 31, Brandon and Trent Brown, they're kind of older, but they neither one has really played all season the last couple of years. So you got one complete right tackle with two guys. And that's the depth you created. You got the guard to play center. Maybe take Andrew's spot. Maybe challenge Andrews. But if he doesn't, if he just depth for both right guard, left guard, and center, he's better than Juice Patterson. So they upgraded everywhere for a purpose, and it can't be saying that Nick didn't try to get the best line he could with what was going on. And we wasn't gonna overpay for the new Raiders guy, just like the Christian
Excellent.
Wilkinson. You paid him
Excellent.
over much unnecessary money to get him. So
Linderbaum.
he took care of his business, and that's why I give him A minus.
And real quick, I just want to add, AD, before you go. I'm really excited about Logan Hall. I am.
Mm.
I'm excited about Logan Hall. I think that, hey, man. I'm also excited for Foster Moreau. Like you got your tight end who can block, right? That's the whole thing with him. I just really like some of these moves, man. I forgot they got Jake Hummel from the Ravens, the
Hmm.
linebacker slash special teamer. Got Dominique Robinson, Evan Browns. Like a lot of these just feel like gritty, not finesse kind of moves. There's a very much a consistent theme of these kind of pickups. So I'm just really excited to see kind of this ground and pound identity that they seemingly are trying to build overnight. So I'm kind of, I'm hyped for that, man. Plus, again, like with guys like Logan Hall, it takes extra for them to have to be perfect with like these draft picks that we were going to talk about, right? Like defensive end, what they're going to do there, linebacker, what they're going to do there, safety, what they're going to do there, right? Like O lineman, all these different moves. Like it's less pressure to have to hit, and more of an incentive. Like okay, we can go BPA, and get a guy or two that maybe we wouldn't have got before that can shock the world on draft night, right? Like those are kind of things that these moves have set you up for, and I'm excited to see that.
Right, and your core is here. Your core is already on defense. Your core is already there. So you add in Blankenship to elevate the room already, and the defense already. So you just had to surround on what your biggest weakness, and that was online, and everything else was to help depth and rotational players, and that's what he did. Go ahead, AD. What you
I'm
got?
just mad that Clayton, you just gonna let Jules get away with combining two people
I heard it. I
same
heard it.
time talking about Jules Patterson.
I
God,
thought he was trying to,
no.
make it one dude. I thought that's what he was trying to do. I was like, dang, he called him something Patterson.
That's how I feel about him. Patterson and Juice, they wasn't good by themselves. I tried to put them together, and they
Jake
were
Patterson.
trash.
Jake Patterson.
Yeah, Jules
Thank you,
Patterson.
bro.
So, I mean,
Patterson,
the offensive line was a big, like the biggest what if this offseason for the Texans. It's still the biggest what if for the Texans this offseason, even though you have seemingly upgraded the offensive line position with the Braden Smith, with the Evan Brown, with re-signing freaking what's the boy name? Ed Ingram.
Yeah,
Signing Wyatt Teller, and bringing back Trent Brown. You seemingly, kind of upgraded a little bit on that offensive line, but I mean, Nick does what I've said he's done every year. This is nothing new. He's going to cover up and put dirt in all the holes to make it where nothing that he does in the draft is kind of obvious or predictable. And when the draft comes, don't be surprised if they trade up, trade down, um, draft some position you wasn't even thinking of. Like all of these things are on the table,
I think
which
Sadiq back. We back
you
in on
know.
Sadiq. Yes, sir.
No, we're not. Down nowhere. We're not back on Sadiq.
we back. We back.
I
Yes,
was
sir.
watching some highlights. Somebody posted a Sadiq, and I was like, he looks like a running back. He does not look like a tight end at all. He looks like a running back. 6'3", 230 is a running back. So if you want a running back playing tight end, you might as well put Demo out there and let him go play tight end, or draft Mike Watson Jr. for him to go play tight end.
haters.
So
I mean, look, you can do what the Colts did. They signed a whole basketball player. Go sign Tugler from U of H.
and right now the Colts are just dumb, damn dumb.
I was like, who is this?
So that part, like if you comparing anything to the Colts and what they've done this all season, yeah, nah. But the Houston Texans, like I said, they've made strides. They've again solidified positions. And one thing they're always going to do is make a splash move on defense every offseason. The last 3 years, first season it was doggone Terminator. Not Terminator. What's his name? Cyborg. Um,
Hunter, buddy, Hunter.
yeah, no, his nickname was Cyborg though.
Yeah.
Daniil Hunter, and then you had the last year you had C.J. Gardner Johnson, and this year you have I'm about to say Reed Blankenship. What is his name? Reed Blankenship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Reed Blankenship. So you have all these guys that they're building this defense around. Like you said, you re-signed Naquan Jones. You
Mm-hmm.
brought back Sheldon Rankins. And you brought up that linebacker Hummel. I mean, this is giving me vibes from last year when they signed this special team ace from San Diego, and we cut him, and he didn't even make the 53. So I'm not taking anybody that's a special teams guy seriously until they make a team. But other than that, man, it's like I said, I would give it a maybe a B plus grade. Nothing crazy, just
Yeah.
status quo. Well, I'm a hater because I'm giving an honest grade. Like they didn't do nothing spectacular. They didn't wow anybody. They did what was necessary. So I mean, you didn't you had a special project and you had a presentation. You just had a standard PowerPoint. You didn't have no motions or anything on the PowerPoint. It was just click 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 click, and you reading off the PowerPoint. It was no images, no nothing on it. It was just straight words. So it's a good report. You get a B.
Yeah, I think this is like being the kid back in the day. I don't know, y'all old enough in the comment section. You probably are. You remember you used to have, the group set of books. You always had to read it, and you used to popcorn read, and like it's like being the kid who can read on level versus having that kid in the classroom who stutters a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think what makes the Texans offseason better is you looked at the juxtaposition to what are the Colts doing?
Feel it.
Jaguars in juxtaposition. Why you doing that, bro? Why? 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 Like I gotta think. I'll get back to you. No, look at what the Colts are doing. Look at what the Jaguars are doing or not doing. Right. Look at what Tennessee's doing. The Texans right now we're the best built heading into the offseason, still are the best built, even while making these spectacular slash, kind of rudimentary, boring moves. They have done a good job to make sure, like you said, AD, that the bottom didn't fall out, right? They're not starting backwards. Like at worst, they are what they were last year. At best, they are incrementally better, which means a lot by the
Yeah.
percentages. Again, going into this draft where now I saw somebody say it, BPA at number 28. That's kind of my thing now. Like they're positioning themselves to be able to bring in these impact playmakers that aren't expected to be great right now, right? They don't have to have that pressure,
Mm-hmm.
that freedom. They're able to they can play free, right? To use a cliche. And that's how you can really kind of get pushed over the top, right? When you get these young guys in, whether new O lineman or tight end or another running back, who knows? But guys who can truly play make on top of the moves already made, like, the Texans are well positioned, man. Like we said it going into this offseason, they did not need that much. And it was really just one side of the ball. If they can hit on just the one side of the ball, and of course, if the defense stays healthy, you're talking about a conference championship. Like I'm about 85% confident they're an offense away from getting there as just as your floor almost. Anything else is extra, but I'm that confident. They just got to keep on pushing and not be complacent. Like, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some moves at the trade deadline too. Like, depending on what happens.
As long as they don't draft the boy from Texas A&M at 28, I'm fine.
DeSantis.
Nah,
Oh,
the receiver
Concepcion is that?
Concepcion. That's all I worry about.
Yeah,
I don't,
something about
Hey
A&M. You
man.
can't.
we'll
Trust
Hey
five.
man. Say the man name right. It's KC
We'll need
Concepcion.
a 5'11" receiver at 28.
That's fine. We can say what we don't need all the time, and the Texans do what the hell they want, and they
Yeah.
they may very well want a 5'11" wide receiver in KC Concepcion at 28, and you
And
gonna
they
like
might
it, and you gonna like
and,
it,
and, and they might want to run it
and
back
you
and
gonna
play
like
tight
it,
end, right?
Eat the food.
and you gonna like it.
And you gonna like the tight end if they get him too, right?
Nah.
Ah, see now you can't have both ways, brother.
Oh, I can,
No, you can't.
cause I am who I am.
It don't matter. You got no. You gonna you
Yeah,
gonna be
so
you gonna be
on the
real. Gonna be
podcast, I'll
real.
be position. And
So,
Eli
but
Be real.
Stowers. Let's get Eli Stowers. Let's make it
Yeah, I
happen.
ain't mind him. But like I said, I just think the overall the free agency class has put everybody on notice that hey, we're going for it. There ain't gonna be no more excuses. They upgraded at key positions. We at safety was all talk about safety. We thought, hey, I thought Reed was gonna be back, and he proved that hey they want to upgrade at safety. So this team is going for it. This team is going for this 2 year window with the cap they got now and the players they have now. They're going for it, and we hoping that these corner pieces they drafted they signed on line benefits the team and they can run the ball. And it's just clearly they want to run the ball. And CJ got to make throws here and there, but clearly should be able to run the ball as you want to control clock. And even though they re-signed it and gave extension to K Bear, you still want him not to kick as many as he kick and get some red zone touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. That's what this whole thing boils down to: running the ball and getting six instead of threes. Okay, I guess I keep talking.
You
No,
got
did Clayton freeze?
no. I'm here. I didn't want to dominate the conversation.
Yeah, I mean it's on CJ running back, but it's also on Nick Caley and the receivers on his offensive system going forward of being healthy, being on time, being running routes. It's on the whole offense.
Listen, okay. So right, look, man. I'm gonna go to what Colin Cowherd said a long time ago about CJ when he comped him to Jared Goff. And Jared Goff was at his most effective when he was able to lean on play action, a lot of deception. Jamar Gibbs when he had Todd Gurley, right? Like when you're able to build around Jared Goff, you did not have to over depend on him, right? And it doesn't not to disrespect to say Goff is a scrub, no, but like I use that comp for a reason that Colin said because you look at CJ and what did we learn? Probably right now it's not best to put it all on CJ's shoulders because for one reason or the other, it just wasn't what it was supposed to be. So now what they're doing is it looks like they are building this roster out to where CJ has no choice but to succeed because he's being asked to do less. I personally think CJ should not throw the ball more than let's say 25 to 30 times a game. I don't want to see him creeping up 35, 40 because then you're going away from what you're building yourself to be, right? That's why I don't think you're done after David Montgomery and Woody Marks. I think they're going to continue to build that out. I think they're truly going to try to balance this thing out in a way that they have not been able to do really since Arian Foster. Really, I know Lamar Miller had his moments, but even then, not really. Mixon got that 1 year pop out of him. I think they need this. CJ needs it for his development, right? Like, look, if you break down the numbers, all the Super Bowl teams or the teams that were in the conference championship games as of late, they are all top 5 to top 10 in running the football, whether it's yardage, whether it's touchdowns. Like Eagles, Bills, Lions, all those contenders, they ran the football effectively. That is the template right now. And in the postseason, it's the most physical teams who dominate. They say the cliche stands true. In the playoffs, there's two things that always translate well: defense, running the football. You had one of those things last year. Now, ideally, trying to go 2 for 2. Everything else is gravy. And as long as CJ Stroud comes back sharp and understands I don't have to be Superman all the time, right? Like that bodes well for the team. You don't want any quarterback thinking that I got to be the guy all the time. You lose that way. So I like what they're doing, and I like it for CJ because again, that's less on his plate, and he can look better and more comfortable because he can trust Demo. He can trust Woody. He can trust, Schultz or whoever else they draft. Like he has a line he can more so trust. And to that same point, it's a double-edged sword because now if Casario and Miko has built this thing all the way out, top to bottom, left to right, to where it's almost CJ Stroud proof, he has to show up. If his role is reduced, you have to show up. You can make the argument to defend him when everything wasn't going his way. This is the most active Casario has been in terms of like the offensive line, like since he's been here, right? Consecutively with quality moves combined with budgeting and all this stuff and future moves. This is it. Casario's responded. D'Amico's responded. It is time for CJ Stroud to respond with a reduced workload. If he can, I like where they're going to go. If we see, and I'm talking about early in the season, if we see any bit of continued regression or that kind of mental waywardness that he does or that he's known for now, is going to be a problem. And I wouldn't be shocked if like they don't throw away 2026 trying to wait on him to refigure things out, which that's way down the line. But I'm saying that's where we are right now. But I'm hopeful because CJ is being asked to do less by the way it's being built out. So, you know.
Just not to go not deep in this conversation. CJ was never built to carry the load by itself, and the running game was not there at all through most of the season. You had enough talent to get past, but when you go into playoffs, you're going against playoff teams, and all factor of the game has to show up. The running game has not showed up for this team ever, and that's what he addressed it. And that's what you want. Less responsibility, less thing is, but because you're asking the running game to actually show up. You're asking the old line to actually do their job and run the ball. That's it. So it's some CJ, but you're asking the running backs to actually have holes. You're asking the old line to actually open holes. You're asking to get the tough yards. Well, we don't have to do stover over. Well, we ain't gotta do these weird formations and this jumbo package just to run the ball for 3 yards.
And rotating left guard.
So it was a and I want to keep talking about it. It was a first time OC, a new system, new players, everything is up. So we're gonna hope that Nick Casario did with his job and got some quality players because he always get players. This is the 3rd year in a row, probably the 4th year in a row. He has revamped this O line every year since he's been here. Can we say that the names on the back of the jersey are the best quality players he had, other than having Tunsil here that he brought
Absolutely.
in? You
Most
can say that
accomplished. Yeah.
most accomplished. So, given the most talented players he got in, you hoping this team can block and run. So we should be so an A plus or A minus or a B plus should be standard for everybody, and that's the goal.
All right.
So Eddie, who but other than the O line, who was your most intriguing free agency signing?
Outside of offensive line,
Yeah, if you had to pick somebody other than the O line,
that we signed as a free agent or re-signed.
either one.
I mean, it wasn't much outside offensive line. Just go ahead and read Blankenship.
Okay. What does he bring to this already elite defense that you think that, as he said, D'Amico called him personally and say he wanted him?
He brings more stability. He brings more
More IQ.
yeah, more IQ. He's when I say stability, that like you said before, that position specifically, the one he's going to take over, has been a revolving door for the last like 3-4 years with injuries, year after year after year. Oh, they won at the buzzer. Wow, sorry about that. Amen Thompson with a tip in to beat the Heat at the last second.
The Heat tied it up. I just
No, they took the lead, brother.
Oh wow. See, I just looked away. Okay, well,
Yeah, they took the lead. They gonna check it, but looks like it's good. My
it's
bad.
always good to beat the Heat. It's always good to beat them.
Yeah, Bam went for 84 this game, didn't he?
Don't start. Don't start. Leave it alone.
So you say the safety.
Yeah, the safety position, going back to it, the safety position, yes, definitely has been a revolving door. And I think you solidified that because now you have that, plus you have younger guys to back him up. And, they let go. They brought back MJ Stewart. You signed Reed Blankenship. So you have depth along with Jalen Reed. So you have depth in that specific position. So you don't have to really have a, carousel of guys going in and out.
What you got? Who's your one player, Clayton?
Most intriguing. Oh, that's a good question. I think for trolling purposes, I got two answers for you.
Okay.
I'll say Brady Smith because I'm interested to see. Well, actually, no, because they got Wyatt Teller, so never mind. But Wyatt Teller aside, like he was interesting to me because the whole controversy about is he right tackle, is he a guard, and it got ugly like out of nowhere about that.
Mm.
But honestly, I'm gonna go an obvious one, but David Montgomery.
Okay.
Because the running joke is the Texans love their above 28-year-old running backs. I mean, listen, man, David Montgomery has tires, tread left on that tire, right? Like he didn't have all of last season off, right? But he got a bit of a reprieve, right? Because Jamar Gibbs took off, right? Became RB1 of that team.
Jameer.
I said Jamar again. Jameer, Jameer Gibbs. I don't know where Jamar's come from. I'm sorry, Gibbs. Yeah, Jameer. So he took off. So now he's in Houston. He's motivated. He fits the offensive identity that Kaylee talked about, right? A physical outfit who wants to run the ball down the hill. I think he's in great shape. I think he's durable. I think that, he's fine. I think he has plenty of juice. Um, I'm just interested to see, how much as the lead back does he transform this running attack, right? Like, what does he give you, right? Because throughout his career, he's never given you less than 700 yards. He's hit 1,000 plus, I think, multiple times or once or twice. Um, and again, a lot of people saying, "Oh, the Texans paid for a backup." Just say you don't watch. So no, I'm intrigued, man. I want to see what they're going to do. And I'm kind of, as an extension, will David Montgomery finish the season as RB1 or will someone else like a rookie? Because I don't think it's going to be Woody. If the
Y'all
Texans
keep y'all keep dotting Woody. It's fine. Y'all keep dotting Woody.
listen, I'm on record. I believe Woody can be a low end 1,000 yard rusher. Like he did what he did last year, starting in week 10, right? Like, and he finished like 700 yards. If you project that out, that's about 1,000 plus yards. He's tough. He's durable. Like Woody is Woody, right? He can do multiple things. You can put him on the screen game. You can, put him out there on the route. So it's not that. It's just you saw him average like 5 blue tent trips a game last year.
We saw that.
So it is what it is. But no, but that's what I like though. Like I like the competition. Like, listen, if you feel like the team is wrong for bringing in Montgomery and bringing a rookie, okay, prove it. Like because Casario already said this. He said the players decide who plays, right? The players decide the depth chart. That's what I think. I think you got Dave Montgomery, Woody Marks, and a rookie. Hey, y'all organize the depth chart. Y'all go. I don't think this is not the season for there to be predetermined spots, unless, like, of course, it's the obvious ones. But in certain key positions, it's like, hey, man, listen, like, best player wins, right? Because we want to get to the Super Bowl. The best ones should win in that situation, and everybody should be on board, right? So that's what I said, Demo, because he has the right attitude. He's the exact kind of player that I would want running the ball. And again, it allows you to still build for the future at the same time. So listen, I just want a running attack that's not 32nd in the NFL any category. Like, can we not be bottom ranked in running the ball? Like, can we not be bottom ranked in short yardage / red zone offense? Can we not like?
Hey, that's my biggest thing, and that goes to who I like. I like the tight end from the Saints, I guess.
Foster?
Yes, I think he's the blocking tight end we need that can catch. He can eliminate the jumbo package with Jeff Fisher because you actually have an option that you can actually have the lineman there, the tight end there, and if the play is open, you can develop a play that have him go out. He can hit it up and flat, other than having Fletcher there being your extra O lineman. I like the fact that it's continuing with the situation of running the ball because you have a guy who can actually block and block well for a tight end situation that we didn't have, and it puts Brevin Joyner on notice or on the third on the depth on the top one more down as the third tight end because having two pass catching tight ends and neither one can block very well. It didn't sit well with me. So it goes to identity of what this team is trying to do and the flexibility this team has. And as AD always says, raise the root of any position. He raises the talent level of that position and gives the O line and the OC more power, more explosiveness to be a functioning. And it's all we'll keep saying the last couple of years. We just want a functioning offense. And I think this is that move makes you a little more functional with the extension of all the restructure of Schultz.
Mhm.
And I like the guard center combination guy. I like him. He can push Jake,
You talking
or he
about
can be
Edge?
great depth. I like the pick.
You talking
Yeah,
about
Jake
Edge?
Andrews. Yeah, Jake Andrews is a great depth piece. Um,
We're
you
gonna see.
know,
I told y'all before. I think they like Jake, and now you got Ed on one side, and you got right on the side. I think you can. They might roll with him like that.
you can like, but do they love him?
Hey, everybody kept saying they wanted Mays and rumors this. They didn't even touch center.
Yeah,
If
I
they
think.
wanted center, they could sign a center.
I mean, it was only two centers signed. They signed a center.
They really signed guard center. But if you wanted a bona fide starter, if they wanted to, they could have started it because the money that was there for them.
Yeah, but what do they prioritize it?
That's why I'm saying I believe they like Jake as it. We might not like Jake as it, but they might like Jake as it because
We'll
like I
see.
said, I'm saying if they really wanted Jake not to be a starter, they could have paid.
There
This
was only one. There was only one player that they could have signed for Jake
there was
not to
three of
be a
them.
starter.
They $10 million. The one that
What
went
do you
from
what
the one
what
that
what,
the Chargers started.
what are you talking about? You talking about most of those guys signed before the season started. The
And they
off
could
season started.
and if they won, they could have signed him too. The Chargers
So
signed him,
you do realize they didn't have the cap space to sign those guys before the free
but
agency started.
but the cap space don't go into today of the cap space.
But they
So
didn't have
everybody
they
everybody's
they were
making.
negative. They were negative. You can't make any moves with negative cap space.
So if the same moves they made before
You
the
could
deadline, that they could
it
have made
would
the same
be
thing
it would make more sense for them to do it after the
but
league year started rather than before the league year started.
because they didn't want a center.
I don't want
They
to say
want
they didn't want a
they wanted
center.
Jack Andrew. You have you,
I don't think they didn't want a center. They probably didn't like what was available to them.
that's an opinion, right? Because
Because you saying that they didn't want a center is a more of a egregious opinion
no, it's not.
than
No, don't
saying
use big words to make your point. Don't do that.
Spell it. Spell it.
what
Don't do that. Just
Spell
say
it.
you have your point. I'm my point. That's not the situation. Because if they wanted a center, they could have signed a center.
but they did sign a center.
They signed a guard to the start.
You know Evan Brown is more of a center than a guard. He only played guard out
But
of necessity.
his salary is a depth player that can push him. If they wanted a starting center, they could have started. They could have signed a dark
What's
starting center.
what if the plan is
Point
to
blank.
draft a center?
But point blank, no, don't add that conversation to what we're talking right now, Ad. Don't stop doing that. Just on the conversation, you want your point of you don't like Jake Andrews. We know that you don't like Jake Andrews. You want them to do another center. That's your always been your point. My point was simply if they wanted somebody to be a bona fide starter, they had the money to do so. And all I'm gonna keep saying is, and I've always said it, I don't know in the room, but it seems like they like Jake Andrews.
Thank you, Rodney.
Yeah.
No, but that's not the point that he's trying to make. He trying to change the conversation for himself. Don't do that.
Nah. No, but at the end of the day, like it is what it is when it comes to Jake Andrews. So, like, you're not gonna die with behind Jake Andrews. Jake Andrews was solid. He played well enough to garner, you know, not just being thrown in the trash slash, as far as last year. Same with Ed Ingram. Ed Ingram played well enough to garner a resign, a new contract. So Trent Brown played well enough to garner a resign, a new contract. So you go down the list. So all of these things are plausible that Jake Andrews played well enough to not get, put in the back door and put in the back, back of the classroom. So um Connor, who is Connor? Why we have so many with Connor? What happened with Connor Lou?
He's I think he's one of the youngest guards, youngest centers in the league, and he actually is a good piece to maybe target,
So
in the late third round, maybe early fourth round, because he's so young that
So
he
this.
can be a center next year if they don't resign Jake Andrews. He can actually learn, and he actually is a big frame body, and
So
since like
this.
So he's somebody you can draft now and be ready to set the year afterwards.
So the streets tell me with Connor Lew, allegedly he's supposed to be the best, most high IQ, high ceiling center in the draft coming up. He did tear his ACL. I want to say,
Mm-hmm.
I think late
Oh,
last.
he right up the Texans alley then.
Yeah. So like, honestly, yeah. So you can stash him. Like you can
Right.
get him, mid round, stash him,
Mm-hmm.
let him heal up, and if he is that guy, then hey, run him next year. You really don't need a Connor Lew right now, and you can again still draft multiple O linemen even with him. So, um, funny enough, that's absolutely what Casario would do because he did it with Stingley. He
Mm-hmm.
did it with a bunch of dudes fresh off an injury, but saying he'll heal up, he'll be all right. So
And Connor Lewis on the kind of the prototypical size we all been looking for.
Correct.
He's 6'4", 6'3", 310. Probably one of the biggest centers in the draft coming up. So we'll see. All of those things. So I mean, it is what it is. So because apparently Jake Andrews played with one leg this past year, so he may be better than what we think. They said
I
he
mean,
was Captain Hook out there with
I mean,
one with a pick leg.
if you give him a left guard to play the same position, the same player the whole year, he might be better instead of rotating like they did last year.
Yeah, I'm not a proponent that the guard should make the center better. I'm a proponent that the center should make the guard better. But you don't want my thoughts on Pregnon Text. I'm just being honest with you.
Oh, here we go. Why are you being such a hater on people like? Why you have such dire on certain players that you don't want?
Hold on. First of all, he asked our thoughts on Pregnon.
We know everybody hope on this podcast know your
Obviously,
thoughts.
he does not.
Well, everybody
If
else
he's
do.
asking,
Everybody else do.
but if he's asking, he needs clarification. Pregnon is overrated
He
and
didn't
will
ask
be
you specifically.
overdrafted.
He
I'm
asked, he
giving.
asked, he asked, he asked the
He has
podcast.
the podcast, and we can go round by round. We can go person by person, and I will
Clayton,
start first.
because I know you, because you gonna downplay him.
Clayton is in love with Pregnon, but I'm telling you this right now, Pregnon will be potentially a third round draft pick, and everybody will be shocked shitless.
Yeah, I see him going late second round.
Late second, third, sixth, seven.
You always gotta add a little extra sauce to it, sir.
Go ahead, Clayton. What's your thoughts on Pregnon?
man, listen, bro. All I know is I keep seeing Pregnon mocked to the Texans. I know he comes equipped with a lot of accolades, right? Like top guards in the country type stuff.
I gotta.
So and listen, I like many. I'm kind of gun shy over, over prioritizing a guard early after the whole Kenyon Green fiasco, right? And I know,
Fear, guys. Can't live with fear.
listen, I know. But like I said, you're in a situation where if you draft a guy, look, you hope you hit, whether it's Pregnon, DeSantis, regardless, you want to hit, but you're under less pressure for that player to have to hit immediately, right? Like he can develop, like if you, heck, even if you ran back the Kenyon Green thing, you can put him in a much healthier environment now to learn, develop, stay behind a guy like Wyatt, pick up the game, right? Not feel like you got to start early, work on your body, stuff like that. So I feel like even if they did go Pregnon route, he comes with some, with some accolades. But again, you're in the NFL now, you starting at zero. But you have a Wyatt Teller, you have an Evan Brown, you have an Ed Ingram, you got all those interior guys to lean on and learn from in a non-toxic environment where everybody's hungry and motivated. So, I think they got the culture. I think Pregnon is one of your, most accomplished options to get. You can definitely pick worse than Pregnon, but I think he's about right. I think, late second, third, something like that. Good to go. I would not try to reach on Pregnon. Let's not get that twisted. I'm not saying trade up to get him. I'm saying if you've already made a pick or two and he's still on the board, then yeah, I'm snatching him, right?
At 59?
Huh?
At 59?
What is that? That's your third one, right?
It's your second round pick.
Yeah, it's your second. Oh yeah, if he's there at bottom of the second, I'd grab Pregnon.
Okay.
So go ahead, Jules, because I got a comment and I need it to make sense to me. But go ahead.
I'm not really high on pregnant. I understand the ability. I understand.
Like you gonna sit up here and you gonna go back and
No,
forth. You gonna say,
no, but
"Oh,
we know where you at. But you already know I'm not. I like Chase more as the best guard in the situation. I like Chase better than.
we like anybody." Hashtag anybody, but
I like Chase
pregnant.
better than like the number one guard in draft this year too. Chase is my guy. I understand the idea. I think with this team he can learn, but he, like I said, mid second round, if they get him, cool. I just don't. I don't think he's talented as people think he is.
Because he's not. And now I'm gonna make this point. Let's rewind the tape and let's make some sense of it all. Pregnon is 25, going on 26 years old. Manuel Pregnon is 25, going on 26 years old. You're going to draft a 25, going on 26-year-old guard when you just signed 31-year-old guard to a 2-year contract, and you just signed a 29-year-old guard, 28-year-old guard, I'm sorry, to a 3-year contract. You're going to sit up here and draft a 25, going on 26-year-old guard to basically redshirt
Correct.
and expect the 26 going on 27-year-old guard to come in as a brand new quote unquote not realistic rookie, but a rookie to come and play his first NFL snaps of football when he's 26, 27 years old. Does that sound logical to anybody?
So let me ask you a question. If just him as a prospect, how do you feel him as a prospect? Not a Texan prospect, but a
He do-
prospect.
he's as a prospect, he dominated as a 25-year-old player against 18-year-olds. 18, 19-year-old players, he was dominant. Isn't that what you're supposed to do? And then there were times where he had the lazy trait, the Titus Howard trait,
Uh-oh.
where he wasn't
The Ed Ingram
as
traits.
the who?
The Ed Ingram traits.
Yeah. You know, again, Pregnon is shouldn't be a priority, and I think people should start crossing Pregnon off the list. It doesn't make sense. Basantis makes a little more sense. Basantis is what, 20, 21?
Hmm.
So even if he sits a year, he's going to be coming back to start the next year as a 22, 23-year-old. Like Pregnon at 25 is like, that's just, you're setting yourself up for danger. And then let's say you do draft Pregnon, and when he finally does play, oh no, we can't draft guards. Here we go. He's the next Kenyon Green all over again because the guy is not the guy.
Right.
Um, you know, I for me personally, I always and NIL has hurt this, and COVID really hurt this. And I think since COVID is we're getting past the COVID year players, um, players that are 24, 25, 26 years old coming into the draft as rookies shouldn't be something that you would want to hang your hat on. I would try to stay far away from those guys because if you're 24, 25 years old, why couldn't you have come out when you were 23?
Mm-hmm.
Why couldn't you have come out when you were 22? You telling me you stayed in college for 6, 7 years and you just now trying to get into the NFL draft? Like what? Like I understand NFL money is nice, but you weren't good enough a couple years ago. So and then Proctor is another one Brandon brings up. Proctor is a developmental guy, but Proctor's young. Proctor's only 20, 21. So you know, it is what it is. But I'm not drafting a guy in the first or second round to. Again, D'Amico Ryans has said it. Nick Casario said it. When we draft guys in the first, second, potentially even third round, you expect them to play. So if you're going to draft a Pregnon, and unfortunately that goes against us drafting Basantis. But if
Yeah,
you draft
it does.
one of those guys in the first round or second round, you're expecting them to play, and so you might as well cross them off the board.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
you
did it
know,
on my last mock draft. I crossed Asante out, Pregnon out, your guy Max out. I kind of
yeah.
crossed up all those guys out to late second or third round picks.
And the thing about it, you may can get away with Max the tackle because Max the tackle literally is going to be playing behind two injury prone tackles that haven't played full seasons in the last 5 years.
So
So
before we jump on that one, let me ask you a question. If they draft a tackle, What happens to Blake Fisher?
Hold on. Let me see. Let me think about it for a second.
Because right now, if you check
It's,
Let
Orleans.com,
me think about it for a second. What
he's the
happens?
backup. He's the
What
backup
hap-
left tackle.
So what happens to Blake Fisher?
He gone. He
Okay.
yeah,
gone.
yeah.
Uh,
Listen, hey, bro. When Juice got traded, I said, "Oh yeah, no, Casario serious. Like,
so,
he getting him up out of there, man."
but again, like I said, man, we with the polarizing topic is the offensive line, um, and the moves that they're making. But again, like yes, you would want to draft another guard, another tackle. You want to draft these guys, but start looking at the guys in the 6, 7 round. Go look at the Bells from Miami. Go look at the Crownovers from A&M that you can get in a later draft, who are developmental project guys that you can stash as depth and potentially,
Hmm.
find ways for those guys to see the field next year, year after, and build your team, build your team up. Or go look at guards like a Keelan Rutledge, or guys that you get later in the draft that you're not specifically forced to play. Rutledge could be your next center. They could draft him to be the next center.
Yeah. What the boy from A&M tackle Crowder?
That's what I just said.
Oh, I think it's somebody else. My bad.
No, I said Bell from Miami and Crownover from A&M later in the draft. You can get them in the
Mhm.
fifth, sixth, seventh round, and you can draft those guys to be your future tackle in the future. You can honestly, those guys give me what's the guy that played tackle for the Texans, opposite of Dwayne Brown, that tore both his quads at the same
Oh,
time.
Derek Newton.
Derek Newton.
Yeah, yeah.
Those guys can be your Derek Newton, where you go
Mm.
and you find a quality right tackle in the late rounds and be your Derek Newton.
So since we are translated to the draft and mock draft situation, what is your pick? What is your ideal pick for 28? And let's go around the table. If they
Start
don't
with
trade
Clayton.
down and they
Start with
have to
Clayton.
pick at 28.
Clayton, go.
I'm sorry. Ask the question again.
I say if since we talking about the draft and we are
Mhm.
kind of put a bow on the free agency
Okay.
at 28. If you had to draft at
Mhm.
28 and you
Yeah.
can't trade up and you can't trade down, who you pick at 28 with the free agency moves they made and how the team is constructed right now? Who you pick at 28?
Oh my goodness. And in this scenario, can anybody slide, or we just all can just chaos on the board?
Go ahead, man. Your dream guy, whoever you want.
You
Shoot.
know who the hell it is.
No, 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 no,
Let the
no, no,
man
no,
speak. Let the man
no,
speak.
no. Brandon beat me to it. I was going to say if Peter Woods fell to 28, go ahead and grab him. Either Peter Woods or I'm not gonna say Sadiq. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just stay on Peter Woods. I think with the moves you made, you supercharge that strength. I think you go D tackle, BPA. If somebody falls to you like that, hey, take the plunge, man. I don't think you need to go O line in round one. I don't think you do. Not
Yeah.
at 28. Because 28 is too close to a second rounder anyway. So I might as well just get BPA on defense and then backdoor that with something else. You didn't ask that, but that's kind of my mentality. So I'm looking for the sliders. I'm looking for the Peter Woodses. I wouldn't go. What's the safety I keep hearing? Thieneman. I wouldn't go. No, because we already got Reed. But still, it just opens the door. But yeah, give me P Woods. If he falls, that's my guy.
Okay, what you got, AD?
Um,
80 is trying to proactively find a way to hate. You trying, just trying to find.
no. No, man. At the end of the day, like, it is what it is. I wouldn't be surprised with anything. Who would I want them to draft? I mean, I don't have a preference. Honestly, I would want them to trade down at this point and garner more,
But if you
garner
had
more
to,
picks.
but if you had to pick at 28, who'd you pick?
Shit, we talked about him at the beginning. KC Concepcion.
Ain't going receiver
Yeah.
Absolutely.
at 20. Yeah.
Why not? Why is that such? You wanted a damn running back that plays tight end at 28.
What? First of all, be the best. Well, arguably, that's what I'm saying. We need at least a tight end. There you go, doggone it. We at least need dynamic. A
But we
wide
don't we
receiver.
don't need a receiver when we first of all you have one receiver that's coming off a devastating injury. You don't know what he's going to be. Then you
Mhm.
have another receiver that can't stay healthy. Then you got one receiver that's dumb as a box of rocks. They can't learn.
Wait,
They can't
who?
learn route concepts and
Oh my
doesn't know how to play. And then you have another receiver that is okay. That's your receiver group.
I will
That's
point
your receiver group right now. You
I
saying
will point
wide
you
receiver? Oh,
well, I will point you to what Brandon said where earlier. 15 plus wide receivers who are 4.3s or faster in this draft, right? So I'm talking about that because when you're deep at that position, I don't expect a run on receivers that early. So I'm thinking I wouldn't have to go receiver. If I would be, it wouldn't be a 28. Like unless you're talking about the best receiver in the draft or top two, top three, but not in terms of like what we really need right now. I'm fine with the receiver like mid round. Like it ain't got to be 6, 7, or 8th, round pick. It can be 5th, 4th, 5th. But not that early, not 28.
I mean, what again? An explosive guy who can add talent to the return game, who's a great returner, who's an explosive receiver when he's on the field. He knows how to separate, he knows how to get open. Talent is talent. You need talent in the room because eventually this is Tank Dell's last year under contract.
You don't think they're gonna extend him?
What if Tank Dell go out there and get 1,000 yards? They will, but if
No,
Tank
I'm
Dell
talking
look
about
like
proactive. So I'm
no,
sorry.
they're not. No, they're not touching Tank Dell until he shows on the field. So
Man,
Tank
Brandon
Dell,
Jordan got a whole. I'm sorry.
but Brevin Jordan got a 1-year extension worth nothing.
Hmm.
Like basically, he got a piece of paper to sign to say he got a contract that's not worth anything. Tank Dell is going to be looking for a significant amount of money or a decent amount of money. You're not going to get that sign this offseason. You're going to get that sign probably middle of the season type thing if he performs. And if Tank Dell doesn't perform, he's going to be a free agent.
So okay, so look, if we're talking receivers, Kuiper, on this list, his 5, he got Cornell Tate, Jay Tyson, Makai Lemon, Brazil the second, and Boston.
My CPAP machine.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that.
but like if it's somebody like that, who else? Like Omar Cooper, I see another name here. Yeah, anybody like that. I mean, Nate. Oh, that's tight ends. But yeah. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't because of what the moves they made. Like, yeah, it opens the door to where they can make a move like that, and they're not crushed for it publicly because they've done a lot of the heavy lifting already. Now you're looking for those kind of like playmakers in the draft, those BPAs that you could just slot in somewhere and supercharge the position group. So, like I said, if it's like that, I don't want to go for like a reach pick at 28, regardless of what position it is. Like, if I'm staying at 28, it's going to be like the best guy of whatever position I'm picking from, So, in those areas where you're looking for improvement. So if it's receiver where no, it's not perfect, but, I got some bodies there. But if I can go like a top 5 option at receiver, sure, I don't care. It just that kind of throws off the calculus a bit. I just wouldn't go. I just wouldn't go at 28. I just wouldn't unless it's like top dude in draft type stuff and I can justify it. But I wouldn't go because I there are other dudes. Heck, in a crazy far flung world, I know this is not going to happen. But if Jeremiah Love somehow found a way, he wouldn't.
Hey,
If
there's
he,
a lot of rehab programs going on right now, Clayton. You'll be more than happy. I'll be more than happy to provide that information for you. But yeah, Jeremiah Love is not going to be there.
I said if I said
So,
if it's
so,
word fifth,
here's my question with KC. With the system being as it is, and we've all heard the ex NFL receivers who play in the system saying that it takes a year or two to get the system correct. Can you see KC being an intimate starter with the system that we have now?
yeah,
Why?
because he has. I feel like he can do something that right now I know that Jalen Noel can't do, and he does something that.
bro, do you have like some insider trading information about no, bro? Because
What do you mean? What has Noel done
No, no, no,
other
no,
than
no, 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 no.
like?
Let's stay on the draft.
I got 5 minutes, man.
Let's stay on here, but let's not dog Noel. I just want the
Oh,
question
we can dog
is
him, but yeah.
no. The question is with the struggles of every receiver who's played in that system says it's a hard system to learn. You asking a rookie who's probably the
So
fourth best
I
receiver, who's
so
probably the
I'll
fourth
be
best receiver in the draft to pick 28. You don't think that's a reach with the system we
no
have now?
no. So the reason why I say it is because the things that the Texans would ask him to do is something that he was already doing at A&M and NC State, which is get open. At the end of the day, the reason why the system is hard is because it makes you think. It makes you find ways um to get open. Like it's options. So you have to think on the fly. So if this option is not going to be able to get you open, then this other option should get you open. Casey Concepcion has done that his year at A&M and his years at NC State. He gets open. He's not. He doesn't just have to run the route that's written down in front of him. He's an
Mhm.
improviser. If you watch him return kicks in the return game, he's an improviser. If you watch him play in the open field, he's an improviser. That's something that Jalen knows. That's something that we don't know if Tank Dell still has at this moment.
So where would you rank Concepcion as one of the best receivers prospects this year?
I mean, I would rank him third. I don't have him as fourth. I would rank him third. I would say Carnell Tate, I would say Lemon, and then I would have Concepcion.
So if he slips to 28, you don't think that's a reach? You think that's actually a steal at that situation?
I don't think it's a steal. I think that's where he would be slotted. I don't think again it's what wide receiver draft is super heavy talented. Yeah, you have a lot of speed guys or whatever guys that run fast in the 40, but a lot of guys they aren't wiring on tape. So yes, I think that those three receivers would be first round receivers. You would have Tate go in the top 5, top 10. You would have Lemon go in that 10 to 15 range, and then you would have Casey Concepcion rounding out in the 20s.
Mm.
Okay. And if he wasn't an A&M guy, you have the same draft on him.
Yeah, absolutely. If he still played in NC State, it would be the same thing.
Okay. I just want to make sure you're fair.
It's not a bias. So the thing about it's not a bias. I have
A little bit.
like I have
It's a little
it's
bit. It's a little bit.
it's only a little bit because I've seen them play more than I've seen others play.
Okay.
Like that's the only, if you want to be honest, that's the only bias I have. Like honestly, if like when it came to tight ends, like I was talking about on the space before, like everybody wants the fast, athletic, whatever tight end. The Texans have shown you year after year that ain't what they looking for. Everybody else wants the flashy. I remember this term when we had Deshaun Watson, the flashy QB, the flashy tight end. Everybody wants the flashy tight end. But the Texans want a blocking tight end who's
Mm-hmm.
going to be reliable in the pass game and is going to be able to get you the first down. That's what they
Yeah.
want.
They Jason Witten. They want
They
Jason
want
Witten.
they want Jason Witten. That's what they want. All the fans want the flashy tight end. Running back. They've given you an idea of the type of running back that they want. They don't want a super speed guy. They don't want a burner. As much as we all want Devon Achan,
Another
more than
A&M
likely
guy.
it's never gotten is. But I mean, that's regardless of the point that I'm bringing it up because that's been a topic. I mean, I could have
Yeah.
said Jameer Gibbs if he was a free agent or
You're
we
right.
thought about trading it, but like those type of guys is not who they want. They
They
want
don't.
so at the end of the day, and then Satek saying we need a slot who can emulate Wes Welker in the New England system. Noel can't not be that guy. Noel is nowhere near a Wes Welker. Like that like and
Wes
I'm
Welker is Wes Welker's only Wes Welker because Tom Brady. Let's not give him too much credit.
yeah. I mean Wes Welker was good in Miami before he even got to New England though.
He's all right.
He was good. But yeah, like I said, he's saying Tank is too brittle. Tank is not really a slot receiver anyway.
No,
So
he's an outside receiver.
yeah, he's an outside receiver. But if you're talking about Noel, like I understand everybody has hope and want for Noel, just like they had hope and want for Will Fuller. Except Will Fuller actually performed when he was on the field. And I think again it goes back to the flashy wide receiver. Everybody, Jalen Noel ran a 4.3 whatever in the 40. So now he's going to be able to get open because he's going to burn everybody down the field. not knowing that you have corners running 4-2 and can run step for step with them running backwards. So like like this misnomer of Jalen Noel as a player, like you gotta wait and see and let him develop. Like I can be a hater if you want to call me a hater of Jalen Noel, that's fine. That's fine. But I've been more on the right side of history than I have been on the wrong side of history. And I'm cool with that. So Jalen Noel is who if y'all want to bank on and want to slam dunk on me on with Jalen Noel, go right ahead. Ain't nobody tripping about Jalen Noel. Jalen Noel is a jag to me at this point. He was a 3rd round pick. You spent some quality investment in him, but right now he proved to you that he can't provide you anything in a return game. He really didn't do anything spectacular as a wide receiver. He let Xavier Hutchinson beat him out for reps. So I mean, with no Tank Dell, it was prime time for him to step up and take that role. He did not. So again, Jalen Noel is a disappointment. And if you want to blame it on the system, blame it on the system. That's fine. But
Okay, let's
the system. Let me finish this. If the system requires you to think, and he can't think, then okay, let's move on. But Jalen Noel, shout out to everybody that still have faith. I'm gonna prove me wrong, Negro. So when he proves me wrong, okay, it is what it is. But shout out to everybody that still has love and have faith in Jalen Noel for whatever reason.
Well, we'll have this conversation after the draft and see where you're at. If they do get a receiver in the first, second, third round. Wait. If they get a receiver in the second, third round, we can have the conversation. If not, then we got to see how can Jalen Noel improve for the betterment of this team.
Read a book.
Oh, come on, bro. Dang, bro. Let him make it.
Hey, be a little easy, bro. We got to believe.
You sound like a 50 Cent.
He did better as a TikTok dancer than he did as a wide receiver.
Bro, this must be how I felt when 50 Cent was bullying Floyd
Yeah,
Mayweather.
man. So we're gonna get those training sessions on how to improve Jalen Noel and what he got to do.
I mean, I see Jaden Higgins, wide receiver 6, working out every day on Instagram and TikTok. What do I see of Jalen Noel?
He can be getting it in.
We're not gonna let social media raps pretend that people working not working. That's juvenile.
Hey, he on his off period, bro. he off.
Again, man, like I said, man, we have a lot to talk about more as the off season goes on. We're still waiting on the big domino of Will Anderson Jr.'s contract extension to drop. We're waiting to see on that one, but other than that, man, I'm out. I'm tapped out. So
Bye.
Y'all go ahead. Shout out to everybody in the chat for joining us. So the H-Time Rundown. We appreciate everybody. Shout out my co-hosts Clayton and Jules. And we will see y'all on the next episode when we see y'all. Shout out. Peace.
This is sleep.